So this story goes back to 2016, and I gotta tell you, it still gets under my skin telling it. Especially the stuff I straight up didn't believe until it happened to me. I'm Marcus, by the way. Me and my wife Dana, we just moved to a new state, into this 2-story rental. Nice place, honestly. 4 bedrooms upstairs, all down one hallway. Ours was the first one on the right at the top of the stairs, and then the other 3 were down the hall to the left. I was in the military at the time, and in late 2016 I got deployed overseas. So Dana's home alone with our 2 dogs, Bo and Winnie, for basically the better part of a year. And nothing happens. House is quiet. Peaceful even. She used to tell me on our calls that the place already felt like home, which, that's a good sign, right? I get back in the summer of 17. Still nothing. Just normal life. The boring kind you're actually grateful for. Then that fall, Dana's friend Renee needed somewhere to stay. She and her adoptive mom weren't getting along. Like, real bad, can't be in the same house bad. So we talked it over and told her, hey, take one of the spare rooms. Renee was good people, we didn't even think twice about it. And for a while that's fine too. She settles in, gets along with the dogs, helps out around the place. Then, early 2018, this box shows up. Well, not a box, a chest. Renee's mom had shipped out the rest of her stuff she didn't want in her house anymore. And the big item was this old jewelry chest that used to belong to Renee's grandmother on her mom's side. And I mean, this thing was solid. Like 3 feet across, 2 feet deep, had to weigh close to 100 pounds. Took both of us just to carry it in. Renee didn't have room for it in her space, so we just stuck it in a closet in one of the empty bedrooms down the hall, the farthest one out, sitting right above our living room. About a month after that, Renee moves out to live with her boyfriend. Left in kind of a rush, honestly, the way you do when you're excited about something new. Said she'd come back for the chest later. She never did. And that's around when things started. It was small stuff at first. Me and Dana would be downstairs with the dogs and we'd hear footsteps. Upstairs. Right above us. Right where that room was. At first we laughed it off. Old house, right? Houses settle, wood shifts when the seasons change, whatever. We were the only 2 people home, so it had to be the house. That's what we told ourselves anyway. But it didn't stop. It wasn't a one-time thing, it was every night. And here's the part that really got to me. The dogs knew before we did. Bo and Winnie would be trotting down that hallway upstairs, totally normal, and then just stop. Dead stop. Both of them staring toward that last room like they saw something we couldn't. And then they'd bolt. Straight back to our room, like something was right behind them. I don't know about you, but dogs don't just do that for no reason. Dana started keeping the hallway light on at night. I told her it was nothing, said I'd go check the room myself if it'd make her feel better. So I did. And there's nothing in there, just the chest, sitting in the closet exactly where we left it. But I gotta be honest, something about that room felt off compared to the rest of the house. Colder. Heavier, almost. Like the air didn't want you standing in there too long. And neither of us had said a word yet about something Dana was about to hear from a coworker. Something that was going to change how we looked at that chest for good. So Dana worked with this woman named Priya, real spiritual type, crystals, tarot, the whole deal. Most days Dana would just kind of nod along, not really buying into any of it. But one day at lunch, the conversation turns to our house, and Dana mentions the footsteps, the way the dogs kept freaking out in that hallway. And Priya doesn't laugh, doesn't even blink. She just gets quiet and asks, did anything new come into the house recently? Dana thinks about it, mentions the chest, and Priya's whole face just changes. She tells Dana that stuff like that, old objects, especially ones passed down through a family, they can carry things with them. Attachments, she called it. Not talking about weight, obviously. She meant sometimes something or someone gets tied to an object, and when that object moves, whatever's attached to it comes right along with it. Dana comes home that night and tells me the whole thing, half laughing about it, like she wants me to talk her out of it. And honestly, I wanted to. I really did. But the footsteps had gotten worse that week, almost every single night now, right on schedule, right after we cut the downstairs lights. Before Dana left work, Priya told her one more thing. If she wanted to test it, she should cleanse the house, burn some sage, walk it room to room, let the smoke do its thing. Dana said she'd think about it. Took her 3 days to actually do it. On the 4th night, I'm in the shower, and she just decides, out of nowhere, to go for it. She told me later she didn't even plan it. Just grabbed the sage bundle Priya gave her, lit it off the stove, and started walking. Living room, kitchen, up the stairs, down the hallway, room by room, waving smoke into the corners like Priya showed her. Everything's normal, she says, right up until she gets to that last room, the one with the chest. And the second she steps in, the temperature just drops. Not a little. She said it was like walking into a walk-in freezer, so sudden it actually made her gasp. She's standing there telling herself it's a draft, an old window, something logical. Then she raises the sage up toward the closet, and it just goes out. Now, if you've ever burned sage, you know that stuff does not go out easy. You basically have to smother it. There was no wind, no draft, nothing touching that ember as far as she could tell. It just died. Instantly. Like something reached out and pinched it. That's when she ran. She told me she doesn't even remember getting down the stairs. 1 second she's in that doorway, next thing she knows she's in our room, pale, shaking, still holding that dead sage bundle in her hand. I get out of the shower and find her sitting on the edge of the bed just staring at the wall, not saying anything. And when she finally tells me what happened, I don't laugh. I can't. Not after seeing her face like that. We barely slept that night. Kept the hallway light on, jumped at every little creak. Around 2 a.m., Bo starts growling at our bedroom door, low, steady, the kind of growl that comes from somewhere deep. We did not open that door. Next morning, Dana texts Renee, tells her as calm as she can manage that she needs to come get the chest, today if possible. And if not, I was going to move it myself whether Renee liked it or not. Renee never showed up that day, and that night, the footsteps came earlier than they ever had. Renee finally calls back the next afternoon. Dana had left her, I think, 3 messages by that point. And when Renee picks up, she just sounds distracted, kind of annoyed almost, like she doesn't get why we're making such a big deal out of it. Says she'll try to swing by that weekend, but her and her boyfriend's new place doesn't really have room for the thing yet. Dana doesn't even argue, just tells her, calm as anything, that the chest needs to be gone. One way or another. Weekend comes and goes, no Renee. By this point, the house isn't even trying to be subtle about it anymore. The footsteps aren't just a nighttime thing now. Dana calls me at work one afternoon, voice all tight, saying she just heard them in broad daylight while folding laundry downstairs. Slow steps, moving end to end down the hallway, stopping right above the living room, right over that closet. The dogs flat out stop going upstairs. Winnie, who used to sleep at the foot of our bed every night without fail, starts sleeping on the living room couch instead, as far from that staircase as she can physically get. And Bo, he'd just stand at the bottom of the stairs sometimes and bark. Not at us, not at anything you could actually see, just up into that empty hallway, over and over, till Dana had to drag him away. So one night I finally say, enough's enough. I tell Dana I'm going up there myself, gonna open that closet and prove to both of us it's just a piece of furniture. She didn't want me to, grabbed my arm right at the bottom of the stairs, told me not to, said it wasn't worth it, that we should just wait on Renee. I went anyway, and I'll be straight with you, by like the 3rd step the air already felt different. Heavier almost, like walking through deeper water than you're used to. I kept telling myself it was nerves, that Dana's story just got in my head. I get to the door, push it open, and the room's exactly how it should look. Bed frame in the corner, empty dresser, closet shut. I open the closet. Chest's right where we left it. But something about it looked wrong. Took me a second to place it. The wood looked darker than I remembered, almost like it had soaked up moisture, even though the room's bone dry. I crouched down, put my hand flat on the lid. Ice cold. Colder than the wall behind it, colder than the floor under my knees. I pull my hand back so fast I nearly fall over, and that's when I hear it, clear as day. Coming from behind me, in that empty room. 1 footstep. I spin around, nothing. Just the bed, the dresser, the open door. I'm standing there frozen for a second, telling myself it's the house, the wind, anything but what my gut's screaming at me. Then I hear it again, closer. I did not wait around for a 3rd one. Got out of there, shut the door behind me, went straight downstairs, and Dana's standing at the bottom of the stairs, arms crossed, already looking like she knows exactly what I'm about to say. That night, we stopped waiting on Renee. I told Dana that's it, we're done waiting. First thing next morning, I'm moving that chest out myself. Renee's got somewhere for it or she doesn't. Not my problem anymore. Dana agreed instantly, didn't even hesitate. That night was rough though. Around 1 a.m. we both wake up to this sound neither of us can explain. Not footsteps this time, more like a low creak, weight settling onto old wood, coming from directly above our bed. Slow, deliberate, like somebody shifting their weight in the room above us. Except there's nothing above our room, just attic space. We just lay there, not moving, not talking, listening. Creak comes again, then again. Both dogs are wide awake, sitting up, staring straight at the ceiling, ears pinned back, and neither one makes a sound. That silence honestly scared me more than any barking would have. I finally get up, grab a flashlight, check the attic access in the hall closet. Nothing up there but insulation and a couple boxes we hadn't unpacked. No raccoons, no loose boards, nothing that explains a thing. Didn't sleep the rest of the night. Next morning I call Renee myself. Tell her flat out the chest is leaving the house today, and if she wants it, she better get here before I put it on the curb. She goes quiet for a second, Then she says, and this stuck with me, "Yeah, maybe that's for the best." Something about how she said it made me think she knew a lot more than she was letting on. She never showed. By that afternoon, I'd made up my mind. Wasn't keeping something in my house that's doing this to my wife, to the dogs, to our sleep, to our whole sanity. Dana actually wanted me to just smash it apart in the backyard, be done with it for good. I thought about it, genuinely considered it. But something about actually destroying the thing felt like it might make it worse instead of better. Couldn't tell you exactly why, just a gut feeling I wasn't willing to ignore. So instead, I carry it downstairs myself, which honestly took way longer than it should have for something that size, and I set it out on the curb. 2 days before trash pickup, I remember just standing there afterward, looking at it sitting out in the daylight, and for a second I actually felt a little bad for whoever might come along and grab it. Almost. That night the house was quiet in a way it hadn't been in weeks. No footsteps, no creaking. Dogs slept at the foot of our bed like none of it ever happened. Me and Dana just laid there waiting for something, anything, and nothing came. Next morning I look out the window, half expecting to see it still sitting there. Gone. Picked up sometime overnight, a full 2 days before the actual trash truck was even due. Nobody in the house touched it. Nobody we knew came by. Somebody, or something, took it off that curb in the middle of the night. We never did find out who took it. Still don't know whose yard, whose garage, whose living room that thing ended up in. And honestly, that bugs me more than almost anything else in this whole story. But here's the thing. The second that chest left our house, everything just stopped. Completely. No more footsteps, no more creaking above the bed. Bo's back to barking at squirrels and delivery trucks like a totally normal dog. Winnie moves right back to the foot of our bed, never once hesitates walking down that hallway again. We've moved 3 more times since then, different houses, different states, and every single time, the dogs have been completely fine. No freezing up, no staring at empty corners. Whatever it was, it left with that chest, and it never followed us anywhere. Months later, Dana and Renee finally patched things up. There'd been some tension over Renee's boyfriend for a while, and one night over coffee, Renee brings up the chest completely on her own. Dana hadn't even said anything. Renee tells her that growing up, back at her mom's place, that same chest sat in her mom's room for years, and there was always weird stuff happening. Footsteps nobody could explain, cold spots that'd come and go. Nights she swore something was standing in her doorway watching her sleep. Said she never told anyone, figured people would think she was crazy, honestly. She just started assuming it was normal, like every house has something like that. And hearing that just clicked something into place for us. That chest didn't just show up in our house and start causing problems out of nowhere. It'd been doing this for years, in a house we never even saw, to a girl who thought she was the only one who noticed. Which gets me thinking about her grandmother, what that thing meant to her, where it actually came from before it ever ended up in that closet down our hall. Renee never really knew much about that side of the family, just that the chest got passed down and nobody wanted to keep it in their house very long. Nobody ever said why. I still think about that sometimes, about whatever was attached to that thing and whether it's sitting quiet in somebody's house right now, somewhere I'll never see, waiting the same way it waited in ours. Whoever grabbed it off that curb had no idea what they were bringing inside. I feel a little guilty about that, not gonna lie. But at the same time, I know I'd do the exact same thing again, because the second that chest was gone, we got our lives back. I don't believe in a lot of stuff I used to roll my eyes at. Not anymore. Not since that winter in 2018, watching my dogs freeze up in a hallway, watching my wife's hands shake around a sage bundle that had no business going out like that, feeling that cold coming off a piece of furniture like it had a pulse. Wherever that chest is now, I hope whoever's got it never figures out what I did. And some nights, when the house creaks the way old houses do, I still catch myself listening a little too closely, waiting to hear if it's just the wood settling, or if it's footsteps.